So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on this up and coming clash between the two welterweight kings at the moment, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Now this fight is going to be fought on the 29th of July, just under 2 weeks now, to the date, and it's one of the fights which most boxing fans have been waiting years for, and finally we get to see this fight. It's kind of like a reminiscing from back in the days with, a Floyd Mayweather versus a Manny Pacquiao, where the fans had to wait so long before they got to see the two best at the time go head to head. But now we get to see these two juggernauts pretty much go head to head against each other. Errol Spence, he's currently 28-0, 22 KOs to his name. Do you know what I mean? He is the man in the division with 3 titles to his name. He has the IBF, WBA, and WBC welterweight titles. Whereas Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he is 39-0 with 30 KOs to his name, and he has the WBO title. Now, both guys, in regards to the physical stats, are very, very, very similar. Like in stats, realistically, you can't really split them apart. They're so close, and it's one of them really where the stats don't really make much of a deal in this fight. Whereas if, let's say, one of the fighters had a massive reach and the other one was very tall, or then yeah, you could probably say the stats would have made the difference. But in this fight, I don't feel as if it's gonna. Do you know what I mean? Because Errol Spence, depending on which source you go to, Boxing Live or Box Rec, will pretty much have Errol Spence down at 5'9", 5'10", give or take, with a 72-inch reach, and obviously a 79% KO rate to his name. And again, that is brilliant KO percentage rate right there. You're not going to... Well, you can get better, obviously, in the heavyweight division, Deontay Wilder and people like that, but it's a brilliant percentage. Whereas, again, depending on the source where you kind of go for your information, Terence Crawford, Boxing Live, Box Rec, etc., has him down at give or take 5'8", 5'9", just depending on which source you use, and a 74-inch reach. So, between them, there's only a 2-inch reach difference. Crawford has a 77% KO rate compared to, obviously, Spence's 79. So again, there's only a 2% difference there. So there's not much difference. The age, Spence is 33, and obviously Crawford is 35. So a couple of years difference. But it's Crawford who has more fights to his name. He has 39 fights. Which is a lot of fights. He's had a lot of rounds. He started his career in 2008. Compared to, Spence. Spence started his career in 2012. He's only got 142 rounds to his name. Do you know what I mean? To his career. So again, do you know what I mean? There's a slight difference in the rounds that they've done, but in regards to the opposition that they've both been in with to date, it's been the highest level of opposition. So you can't really say that one's had a better opposition that he's fought, etc., because both guys have shared the ring with some massive names, and they've pretty much cleared out the division since the old big boys like Mayweather and Pacquiao and Hatton and Brook and all them people like that were once in that division. But one thing that does stand out, do you know what I mean, is the activity. Now, pre-COVID, do you know what I mean, both guys are very active. You know what I mean? And when I mean very active to these guys is like having at least 2 fights a year. So yeah, pre-COVID, 2019, below, both guys roughly had 2 fights a year, give or take. A few years, like 2016, etc., they probably had 3 fights. But, 2 fights was active for these guys, since COVID, etc. Crawford's averaging 1 fight a year. Do you know what I mean? So he's been more active than Errol Spence. Errol Spence has only had literally 2 fights in the last 3 years. He had one in 2020 and one in 2022. So he's not been active. And yes, he's had a lot of personal issues going on behind the scenes, had a car crash, etc., etc. But the activity could play into Terence Crawford's hands in this fight. I hope it doesn't. You know what I mean? I hope we get to see the best version of Errol Spence, a fit, you know what I mean, poised, motivated, focused Errol Spence, and vice versa with Terence Crawford. Do you know what I mean? Um, yeah, brilliant fight. I'm looking forward to this one, and I can't wait to see it happen. I do believe the winner of this, depending on how it ends, you know what I mean, will move up to the next weight division. And the reason being is because you've got young pups in this division, you know what I mean? Such as Joel Ennis, a brilliant fighter. And he's hot on the heels. Sorry, Joel Ennis boots. Sorry, my bad. He's hot on the heels of Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So realistically, the winner, he wants to try and pick the winner. He wants to try and fight for the titles. You know what I mean? This fight will be for the undisputed. You know what I mean? With Crawford versus Spence, it will be for the undisputed. So whoever wins is going to be the top dog. But as I said, they will move up to that next division, which will be the super welterweight division, the 154 division. Who Jamel Charlo is the man in that division. He has all the belts to his name. You know what I mean? So he is the top dog. But he's got a fight coming up against Canelo Alvarez, do you know what I mean? Which is going to be a tough fight for him, but he has the skills, and you know, I'm going to talk about that in a different video. But for this fight coming up with Spence and Crawford, as I said, whoever wins will potentially move up. The only way I can't see these guys moving up straight away is if it's very, very close on the scorecards, or let's say there's some sort of dodgy decision. And they obviously just want to run it back, or if there's loads of money on the line and they're going to run it back again before moving up. But you guys can let me know your thoughts in regards to this matchup. You know what I mean? Are you as excited as I am in regards to this fight? You know what I mean? Who do you think's going to win? And by what method? KO, TKO, stoppage, points? You let me know. As always, guys, subscribe. Bless.